Doey for Eat, Sleep, Boxing, Repeat, and here with Morgan Jones and Mountain Ash Boxing Club. Morgan, thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Just want to kick off really. Just want to reel it back as far as we can if possible. Okay. What brings Morgan Jones into a boxing gym? How did you end up here?
Wow, just I was tired of football. I was tired of relying on other people, you know, to win, and that brought me to boxing. And I realised, you know, it's like one-on-one, and that's what I liked. I mean, you're the most accountable for what happens, and I know I can rely on myself. So that's.
You're very much like the author of your own success, or
certainly,
yeah.
And that's what I like about boxing.
Good. And just a quick one, and it's sort of before we start looking at where you've been, where you're coming to, and stuff like that. It's always interesting to find out what has boxing maybe given you, or what do you feel that boxing has opened up in you that maybe you didn't have before?
Boxing boxing's given me so much, you know. I wouldn't know where to start. I mean, it's given me a family, you know. It's introduced me to people who I never would have known before, and people who mean so much to me now. You know, boxing's given my life structure. It's given me, it's given me my physique. You know, I'm nearly 30 years old and I'm healthy. I'm happy. You know, I'm just in a very good place. You know, thanks to boxing.
And what motivates you? Some people fight for pride. Some people fight for glory. Some people fight maybe to provide. What motivates you? Why do you keep coming back, putting yourself through the hard grind?
Why do I keep coming back? I like combat. I like fighting. I like winning. You know, I like that feeling, and I like being challenged.
Good. I spoke to you briefly off camera. I read recently that your favourite fighter is James Toney, or at least from the article I read. Yeah. And speaking to you now, I'm sure it's coming across. You're not the same as James Toney, in that James Toney was sort of quite renowned for, he'd have some opponents beat before he got into the ring. He was fearsome, he was the bad boy of boxing, he was spiteful and nasty outside the ring. But I'm talking to you here now, and you don't come across like that.
No, that's, you know, personality wise, we're very different. Funny enough, I've always attracted them sort of people into my life, which is neither here nor there, I suppose. But as far as the art of boxing, that's what I like about James Toney, the slickness. That's what I like, and that's certainly what attracts me to the sport, is that kind of that artistry, you know, that slickness. That's why I love James Toney. Yeah,
James Toney famous for sort of being slick in defence, but aggressive on the forefront. Is there anything that you see in James Toney that is something that you try and put into your arsenal? Do you think, I like the way he does that, I want to do that?
I think I've come a long way. I mean, in the last, I'm always growing. I'm always developing as a person, and I think in the last sort of 6 months to a year, you know, I've changed a lot, especially in this training camp, especially in the last sort of 2 months. I've changed a hell of a lot, you know. So it's hard to kind of pick likenesses between me and my old favourite boxer, James Toney.
Without giving the game away, is there anything that you'd say this camp has really brought out of you? Anything that you've really picked up from this camp that's...
I'm working with a new padsman, or some people might call him a strategist, and that's developed me in a massive way, you know. I can't wait for people to see the new me in the ring. Yeah.
Just want to look back slightly. Last outing, particularly in Swansea,
yes.
You were fighting Jake Anthony for the Welsh super middleweight title. I know going into it, the narrative was really that it was sort of a not quite make or break, but you were off the back of 2 losses. Yeah. It was a really important fight. Looking back now, how did that fight go for you? Is it how you wanted it to go? Were you just happy to get the result?
How did the fight go? I think that fight's a sort of testimony to my resilience, you know. I'd lost 2 fights in a row. I was up against a young, hungry, undefeated fighter in Jake, very good fighter in Jake. And not only that, but I think he knocked me down in the first or second round.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you've lost 2 fights, you're in there with this this young explosive kid. He's just knocked you down in the first round, whatever it is. Like, what are you gonna do, you know? And I got up, I brushed myself off, and I won the fight.
I remember I was actually ringside of that fight, and I remember, I think it might be in the third. So you've taken this shot, you've gone down, and if my memory serves, you've got up and straight away looked at the corner. I'm fine. Yeah. No wobbly legs. But what goes through your mind?
There's a story behind that, big time. So my first defeat was crazy, man, because the referee sort of stopped the action in the last sort of 10 seconds, and he looked at me and I was just tired, just waiting to finish the fight off, just tired. The referee looked at me and he waved the fight off, So now going into this fight, Jake knocked me down. The first thing I thought was, remember that fight when the referee? So I went down. My first thought was, I'm fine. I looked at the referee, I'm fine. I looked at everybody, I'm all good. And he was counting. I was counting with him. I'm fine. I'm 1, 2. I'm fine. Yeah.
Just really putting on the show to say, look,
exactly. And I generally was okay.
Yeah, and that came across as well. And you're saying Jake Anthony, obviously young, hungry fighter and stuff like that. You're not much more experienced than in terms of numbers, but do you think that your experience generally, maybe your maturity, was what brought you through that fight?
I'd say so. Yeah, I think maybe he'd put in a lot into them early rounds. So I'm confident in sort of what I do, and it may not be sharp straight off, quick straight off, but it's the long game. It's the marathon rather than the sprint, and that's what you need over 10 rounds.
Yeah, and last one on the sort of Jake Anthony fight. Is it fair to say that he dragged you into a kind of fight that you didn't want? Maybe the knockdown caused it. Maybe you more of a. My knowledge of you is that you want to be more of a slicker counter-puncher, maybe.
Yeah, I definitely wanted. That's definitely what I wanted to do, and I feel as though I sort of fell into that later on into the fight. Jake's a very talented fighter, so it's always going to be tough, keeping him off you, But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the way things went in that fight,
Brilliant. Going forward, then, we were saying that was a sort of potentially a career-defining fight against Jake Anthony, coming off 2 losses. You get the job done, you pick up the Welsh super middleweight title.
Yes.
Is Geraint Goodridge now part of the rebuilding process, or do you see him as on a statement here, or are you back at where you want to be?
I wouldn't say part of the rebuilding process. I think my frame of mind now is that we're going to take whatever fight comes, and we're going to perform extremely well. Whoever's in front, it is what it is.
Cool. And this fight, obviously, for the Welsh middleweight title, coming down a division, coming down a weight.
Yeah.
Naturally, to the outsider that maybe hasn't seen you training, doesn't know you, is this a mistake? Are you going to be weight? Are you going to be drawn out of the weight? Are you going to struggle? Are you going to lose energy? What's your sort of response to that?
My response is I completely understand that. The fact is I'm walking around at 12 stone now, and I can't see myself fighting at 12 stone. At least not for the next sort of 2-3 years. I can't see myself fighting as a super middleweight anymore. I'm walking around as a super middleweight. I'm very comfortable. I'm living such a positive, healthy life now. That it's changed everything, and I think going into the camp, I didn't even know who I was fighting, but I stepped into the gym after Christmas and after New Year's. It was a new year, and I was in the gym. I was training for about a week, and I got on the scales, and I was like, I'm only like 12 stone 4. I'm not even training properly, and I'm so low on my weight. And we just kind of took it from there. I think a week later we were like, again 12-3, 12-2, and Pebbles got on the phone to my manager, and he was like, we're going to fight the middleweight. And since then I just made so many changes in my life, and it's just all good.
Looking at Geraint then, Goodridge, is there anything that he does, anything that, because you've obviously you know him, you've sparred with him, you've seen him around the circuit and stuff like that, is there anything he does or that you think he's going to bring, that is going to challenge you, bring the best out of you, bring the worst out of you? What do you think Geraint might bring?
I think going back to what we were just talking about, the weight, making the middleweight limit is going to bring the best out in me. Kieran's he's very strong. He's a very strong come forward fighter. I think he's got a good chin as well. He's going to be persistent, and I love that. And that's what boxing's always been about. It's been about, you got something coming at you and you got to deal with it. So I love that.
It's hit and don't get hit.
It's exactly, and that's what I'm all about. I love that.
That's amazing. Just a quick one on Swansea. It's a fairly local sort of area for you. How was your reception at the first fight? Did you enjoy being down there? Was it? Did you bring many fans? I know you're bringing a coach full of fans this time.
Yeah.
How was your sort of feeling? Did you feel at home?
It's hard to say. I concentrate mainly on the fight, as much as I can. I suppose I consider it sort of a home fight. I suppose. I don't know really. I don't know.
Don't faze you too much. Just get in there.
No, it doesn't faze me.
I don't know if the words in your mouth, but you fight anywhere. A ring's a ring, or
I suppose. I think a ring's a ring. I think the best thing to do is to just focus on what's going on inside the ropes.
Yeah, brilliant. I was actually looking through your record, looking at some of your fights and stuff like that. And do you know what really stood out to me was the fact that you fought on some huge undercards as well. Yeah. So you've picked up and seen firsthand those big experiences. You fought at the O2, you fought at the Principality on an Anthony Joshua heavyweight unification thing. Not many fighters this early in their career get that sort of big experience. Does that give you motivation, seeing it? Does it make you think that's where I'm aiming? Definitely, that's where I want to be back. Definitely. And when you see those big fight nights and stuff like that, you said that you like boxing for the combat side of it, but is there a side of you as well that, it's not just the combat, it's the success. You want to be successful, you want to pick up titles, you want to... Is that the motivation as well? I don't know. I like fighting. I just like fighting, I like competition. Picking up titles, I mean, you got a title, that says you're the best, essentially. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like that, but the main thing is just is the fight. I like to fight. That's good. And just a couple of quick ones then. Noticed online there was a bit of needle, a little bit of spice between you and Geraint. A couple of things on Twitter, a couple of things on Facebook. Any of that faze you? I'm not on Twitter much, so I haven't seen any of that. No. Okay. Did any of that faze you though? Anything get under your skin, or are you quite? No. I love it. I love it. I love the banter, and it's nice when you've got somebody who's going to reciprocate. I think Geraint might have taken a few things to heart. That was never my intention, but I love the banter, and it's good. It's good for the viewers, and I love it. Brilliant. What's the future for Morgan Jones? You go out there, you win on the 28th of March, let's say. Yeah. What next? You say you take any fight, and I know that. I think a British title eliminator. I'd love to win a British title this year. I think at middleweight, we can't look too far into the future. I think so 8th, 9th, 10th round of this fight on March 28th. If it reaches that far, that's when we're going to know what's going on. That's when the reality is going to hit. And on the back of an awesome performance on March 28th. I think a British title at the end of this year is definitely feasible. I read another interview with you recently, and I love this line that you picked out. Quite simple. I'll be going into this fight with one belt, and I'll be coming away with two. Yeah. Is that the mindset? I'm going there, getting a job done. Man, do you know what? I just love when Conor McGregor won how would you beat? I think it was like Nate Diaz, I think. And he beat him at a different weight class. Yeah. And he said, I got one belt on this shoulder, one belt, and I can just see it, and that's what I want. Hypothetically as well, I don't want you to look too far into the future, but the call comes, whoever, any name, wants to fight you for the super middleweight. Like, just to confirm, you want to drop that belt and stick in the middle now, and you're okay with that? Is that middleweight's definitely where your sort of future lies? I really think so. I mean, as the levels go up, I think middleweight is where I'm going to make things happen. I think I don't want to write myself off and say I can't do anything at super middleweight, because I've beaten some great fighters. Chris Ware, great fighter.
Jake Anthony, amazing fighter. So I can operate at super middleweight, but I've never performed like this. As a middleweight now, I've never performed like this. So that's where my head's at the moment.
Perfect. Morgan, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah, it's been great.
In closure, is there anybody you need to sort of thank, point out to anybody you think, you know what, or anybody you feel we haven't mentioned, anything we haven't covered?
Do you know, I really, I want to thank my team. I want to thank Pebbles, Shane By. I want to thank Robbie Butler for all his help. I want to thank, I really want to thank everybody who's coming to the fight, everybody who's supported me, everybody who's purchasing tickets. It means so much to me, and I can't wait to celebrate with everybody, you know, on March 28th after my fight. Can't wait.
Morgan Jones, thank you very much. Best of luck in your fight.
Awesome.
Top man.